Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Hey, Alec. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us today on this most auspicious of Mondays. We are beginning our first of our unique, whatever, I don't care about your work. Just blow off your work to watch my stream. That's all you gotta do. Who needs work, right? Anyway. It is time, once again, for us to paint some more HeroQuest miniatures today. I know you would, buddy. I know you would. Today we are beginning the first of our unique undead models. We did all those normal generic skeletons last time, but now we are painting unique ones. So we are painting the Witch Lord. This was a unique model given in the HasLab campaign. So I don't know if you can get him any other way. I'm sure there is a way to get him now, but when I received him, that was the only way to get this particular model. So yeah, so he is a skeleton, so we have to start off by painting the bones on his face and his hands. But he's kind of a unique skeleton in the sense that he is like kind of fleshy. Morning, Rom. Good morning. I'm gonna start off with a nice base of Dust Bowl. Happy Monday. I hope it's a good one for you. And since this is a unique model, we're gonna go all out, guys. I'm gonna do my best on this one. We're not batch painting, we're devoting all of our time to this one. So I'm gonna paint from the outside in, or from the inside out. The opposite of what I said. It's something I was taught by, I say taught, something I heard from Uncle Adam Smasher on YouTube. He said, you always want to paint from the inside out. Oh, good. I'm glad you'll stay. I'm not glad that you're sick. I guess I should rephrase that. I'm glad you'll stay, but I don't want you to be sick. That sucks. That's quite the illness, because you were sick the last time that I streamed on Wednesday. Must be hell of a disease. Yeah, Uncle Adam taught me that, I heard him say at some point in there, that you paint the inside of the model first, and then you move to the outside parts of it. So, like, you paint, like, the skin first, and then you would move on to the first layer of clothes and so on. So I think that makes a lot of sense when you're talking about order of operations or where to start a model. Well, I hope you start feeling a little bit better, Rom, because being sick is no fun. Oof. Oof. Yeah, I know a little something about that. I had a little bit of GI distress myself this weekend. Still have a little bit of it this morning, but I'm managing. So we got the hands and the face of our scaly man. We're just gonna put down the base coat for now. Next, his robe. He's got this big flowing robe, which I'm going to paint purple. I just think that is a really cool color for a bad guy, and this guy is definitely a bad guy. He is the Witch Lord. He's actually a pretty big boss in the first quest pack for HeroQuest. And we are using Nagaroth Knight. Yeah, I saw that Duolingo is doing a promotion, which is really convenient for me because I practice Duolingo daily for Japanese. And when I subbed to Critical Role over the weekend, or last Thursday, I got the badge, and I got 3 months of Super for free, which is nice because I don't want to pay for Duolingo Super. Even though I would probably use it, it's just too expensive. It's like 20 bucks a month, which is crazy. I'm pretty sure they're still running a promotion. Oh, you don't use Duolingo anymore? I used to do Duolingo for German, but I kind of fell off of it. And then I was interested in learning Japanese and found out that they had it on there. And I'll probably go back to German at some point, but I wanted to do more Japanese because I've always been interested in learning that language. German's just the language of my forefathers, you know. I really like this purple. It's a very cool color for him to... It's a very cool primary color, I should say, for him. I'm thinking about what color to do his breastplate there. I'm thinking I might do it in yellow because I want it to stand out. I don't want it to be brown because this guy is in my mind, he's a little ostentatious. And I don't paint a whole lot of yellow, so I need to get more practice at painting it. So I think yellow, over robe, or whatever you want to call that, the yellow, tabard. Nothing is going as planned, but hey, at least I got broken gingerbread Oreos. You know, we have to count the small things in life. We gotta just, you know, we've got to say to ourselves, you know, what have I got going on for me right now? You know, that's good. All right, so if we're doing yellow on the base fur, we're gonna use Gizmo fur to be our base coat there. It's gonna be our shadow tones for the what you call it? Tabard. I don't know if it's a tabard. I don't know if that's the correct word for this. But that's the word I'm using. Looks like he's got some metal here on the sides. We'll do that in like silver, or like we'll do that in like a brass. I think that'll complement pretty well. Or we'll do gold, I think. Actually, gold probably works a little bit better. We'll have to add probably a couple of coats of this yellow. Or this Gizmo fur. It's kind of like a ochre. And it already messed up a little bit there at the end, right there. You can see I spilled over a little bit onto the purple, which is fine because we could paint over it. And we haven't gotten too far into the painting process yet. Trying to be neat. Yeah, we'll paint this whole, like, he's got this really cool helmet, and we'll paint a lot of that. We'll paint all, like, the scaly looking bits. We'll paint that silver, and then we'll paint the trim gold, And he's got this big, like, upper, like, neck thing. That could be gold, too. And his staff will be gold. And all the trim and solid parts of his helmet will be gold, too. And he's got a couple of gems we'll paint. Those gems will probably be, like, red to make them stand out from the gold. Or blue, maybe. Actually, I think red is probably better to go with the rest of the colors that he is. We'll experiment. We'll see how it looks. Alright. So we got the tabard, the ochre painted, and then we'll paint his belt brown. And of course, shifting like what? Is it being weird? It might just be the music that I'm playing. I can play something else if it's weird. It also just might be the YouTube window lagging. Could be that too. Anything is possible. This kind of looks like a sash, but I'm just gonna say it's a leather belt. Because that brown will break up the yellow. With the turning the volume up and down? Weird. I don't know if something might have happened. I don't think I can control it on my headphones. No, I can't. Not with my computer. Yeah, I don't know why it was shifting up and down. Weird. Yep. I don't know. I didn't do anything. Alrighty. So that's all the color-based coats. Everything else will be metallic, I think. So let's go ahead and start some color mixing. So our next level, or next layer on the skeleton parts are going to be Dragon Fang. And we're going to mix some of that in with our Dust Bowl brown. Add a little bit of water in my wet palette. Yep, the paint was drying out. Okay. Not a whole lot of bone, believe it or not, on the, or bone color on this skeletal evil man. Or woman, I suppose, but they are called the Witch Lord. So, Lord implies male. I know you're saying, but witch, that applies to female. Actually, men could be witches too. They didn't make distinctions when they were calling people witches back in the Salem witch trials. Just modern pop culture made them largely female. And you know, J.K. Hatemonger had to establish differences between the genders at Hogwarts, and that really popularized it. Witches and wizards. But technically, women could be wizards as well. Wizard just means wise one. So that's our first layer. Our first transitional layer. Next, we're just gonna go with straight up Dragon Fang. Whoop. You're drawing a Pokemon for a friend, Meltan. I like Meltan. I think he's interesting because didn't he debut in Pokemon Go? But I like Miltan. Alright, our next layer is going to be Skeleton Legion. We're going to add a little bit of a... I'm going to mix this up with our previous layer of Dragon Fang, just a little bit. It's sort of a one-to-one mix. Just to create a transition. We're not adding too much of these brighter colors on here because we are, we want to create a smooth transition of colors in the layers. And also we don't want to wash out this guy too much, so. Get the T-zone here near his face. A little bit on the chin. And then for the fingers, we're just going to hit like the very ends of the knuckles. Tips of the fingers. There we go. Whoop. Then we're just going to take straight up Skeleton Legion. We're going to put a little bit of less of this on there. This is just a little bit brighter. Thank you, Alec. Thanks for checking in. All right. And we're going to add one final highlight, which is going to be Dragon or Vampire Fang. Whoop. That is going to be our last highlight of bone. And we're not going to add barely any of this onto the model. Model, mini, mini. It's a mini. Because this is so bright. And we're going to get probably just the tip of the head here. Right there in the face. And then literally like the knuckles. And then the knuckles here. And there you go. That's all the bone done. Now we'll do the purple. So we've already got the base coat of Nagaroth Knight on. I'm gonna just add a little bit more into my palette here. I like this purple from Citadel because it's very dark. It's probably one of my favorite colors from them. Gonna neaten up that little bit there next to the tabard that kind of spilled over. Okay. So we are going to keep the darkest parts of these, but we're going to mix in Xeris purple. Whoop! Xeris purple with our Nagaroth Knight to create our first transitional layer between the shadows and the midtones. Alright, so this has got a lot of lovely texture on it. So I don't want to blow out all that texture. So I'm going to lightly sort of run my the tip of my brush over the parts where the midtone is going on, or the transitional tone rather, is going on, because I don't want to blow out all this texture. And we're going to keep this to the vast majority of the mini, but we are not going to get it in those dark recessed areas. You're not going to see too much of a difference in this particular step, just because purple is such a dark color, and this is just a transitional tone. The next stage will probably be a little bit more obvious. Alright. There's our first transitional layer down. We are now just going to use regular Xeris purple for our midtones. I'm looking at the cloak, and it looks like the very edge of the sleeves have a trim to it. We'll trim that gold as well. Alright, so these midtones, this is going to be lighter, obviously. This is what the vast majority of the model is going to look like, but I keep saying model, it's a mini, not a model, because I did not build it. But we're still going to try to keep those shadowy parts the darker colors. Really just hitting the top parts of the cloth. And this should be a little more obvious. But it will not be that bright when it dries fully. A lot of false advertising in paint colors. That's something you always have to keep in mind when you're painting. If your color looks very bright or brighter than you want it to when you paint it on, it does not always dry that color. Usually when it dries, it will go down in brightness. Usually. There are some paints that are specifically designed to retain their brightness, like your fluorescent colors. But something like this is going to be a lot dark, not a lot darker, but a somewhat darker purple when it dries. Closer to what you imagine a purple would look like, and not like not Barney the dinosaur purple. As my phone buzzed, so I wanted to know what it was. It's just a Duolingo notification. Telling me that my XP boost is expiring soon. I already did my lesson for today. Not a sponsor, Duolingo. Just, I do Duolingo. That's all there is to it. So that's our first mid-tone up. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. I'm glad I'm trying to keep as much of that texture as I can. Some of the model is a little less defined, the mini. Some of the mini is a little less defined. Just because these details are not super high, or these details are not super high on these minis. And that's just, it is what it is. They're board game minis, you know? All right, for our next layer, we're gonna mix some of this Sorcerer's Cloak with our Xeris Purple. To lighten it up a little bit. And this is going to be, we're going to use a lot less of this, but we'll still use a fair amount of it. I'm going to try to hit the tops of these raised areas and where the light is going to hit the cloak. I'm just talking to myself, guys, because, you know, a lot of times I'll narrate what I'm doing while I'm doing stuff. It's just who I am. Still maintaining those light brush strokes to try to keep the detail as much as possible. I'm going to try to focus up this model a little bit. Good morning, David, our dark wizard. Yeah, 2 wizards. Got a wizard over on YouTube. Let's see if we can get this focus up. Music? Just did it decide to stop? That's the question. I'm getting annoyed. This program that I got for my camera, to be able to use my webcam as a camera. Weird. The focus isn't great on it, so that's a little annoying. But it is what it is. How are you, Dark Wizard, David? Hope you're doing well on this fine Monday morning. Hope it finds you well. I'll check it out in a few minutes, Rom. I want to get this color done first. Doing good, working from home. Ha, hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. Well, glad you're doing well. Glad I could keep you company on this Monday morning. All right. Our next purple is going to be straight up Sorceress Cloak. I believe they can see you, Rom. They are on the YouTube chat should pop up on screen. This should, because it's on it. I have a chat box plugin for my stream, so it pops up on stream. So, but yeah, give it a look. Check it out. I think it works. There's a big delay between the two. Okay, that's our last layer of purple. There you go. Okay. Good. Glad you're seeing yourself. All right, so next we'll go ahead and do the yellow. We are going to start with a layer, a transitional layer with dark sun yellow mixed with the gizmo fur. Not much of a delay? Okay, good. That is very good. This is about a 1-to-1. Probably add a little bit more of the gizmo fur or the ochre in there. Take a little bit off my brush. Alrighty. Woohoo! Went too far up. Okay, 15 seconds? That's not too bad. So speaking of which, YouTube audience, if you're watching this live or afterwards, because I get a lot of people watching my streams afterwards, which is cool. But if you're watching, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are only a few subscribers away from hitting 200 subscribers on YouTube, which is kind of cool. Or 191. So if you're watching, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed. I do want to go back to posting videos at some point, but who knows when that'll happen. But also, if you're watching on Twitch, follow, subscribe. You know, we're at 118 followers on Twitch. I'm gonna set up follower emotes. I need to rework my emotes anyway. A lot of stuff I need to fix on my Twitch that I'll get around to, that I just haven't done yet. Alright, so that was just a straight up level of the dark, layer of the Dark Sun yellow for our mid-turns. Hello, Ice. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying your Dave the Divering. Yeah, I put a little bit more work into these hero models or figures because I want them to look nice. I feel bad for the folks who are watching me paint skeletons mostly because batch painting I try to be as quick as possible because you know, you can't spend too much time on that kind of thing or you'll lose your mind. All right, we're adding a little bit of ice yellow to our Dark Sun yellow to lighten it up. And that'll be our last highlighted yellow, more than likely. Depending on how I feel, we may go up one more layer. Alright, so we're just gonna hit the high points of this. Oh, yeah, I remember Dasu. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, he's Swiss? That's cool. I'll have to check out some more. I'll try to check out some of his streams when he streams. We'll go one more layer of yellow, I think. All right, so that's the yellow done. Pretty pleased with that. All right, so we got the purple, the bone, and the yellow done. So now we just need to do the brown, which is gonna be pretty easy because there's not that much of it. So we're going to mix some ancient forest with our curious leather that we used earlier. A little bit more of the curious leather here. I don't want too much of a shocking transition here. Because with the browns, I find that sometimes they just go like a little bit crazy. Then we'll just add some of this straight up ancient forest. Some of the excess paint off of my brush. Create some little leather scratches there. Yeah, so there's not much of this color on there, so that's probably all we're gonna do for the brown. So next will be our metallics. So this will be fun. Let's go ahead and let's keep our same advice and go from the outside inside. So we're gonna start with our gold. Thank you. Yeah, I like the purple. I really like the way that the purple came out. So we're going to use Dragon's Gold as our base gold coat. So there's some gold here on his sleeves. I'm just going to be very careful here not to get it on the purple that I've already painted. The trim is kind of hard to see actually. But it's there because it's kind of a different texture than the rest of the robe. It's easier to see on this arm. But what are you gonna do? These minis are board game minis. You know, they weren't designed with like, you know, high detail in mind, I don't think. Staff while we're here. Doing my best to stay neat and not get it on the purple. There's bound to be some spillage though. We'll neaten up. But also, we're gonna hit this with a shade, so some of that will cover up some of our oopsies. Okay. Oh, let me take a look at that thing, Rom. The Meltan. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I like it. I love that Meltan's like just a little blobby dude with a tail. Sure I get all the black covered. So I just noticed some spots over here on this other hand that I needed to mess with. Alrighty. It might be the music doing the thing, but I haven't seen, or I haven't heard it. I can't hear what you're talking about, Rom. I'm sorry. it's all been consistent to me. But if anybody else hears the music going up and down in volume, please let me know, because I'll just change tracks if that's the case, because I'm not messing with anything. I haven't touched the music since I started. Okay. Well, I don't know, Rom. I'm sorry. If anybody else has problems with the music, please let me know. I can always change it. I'm just kind of like, I just have it on as background stuff because I figure, it's better than just silence from me. If it needs to be more quiet, or if I just need to get rid of it, I'm down for anything. I've painted in complete silence before, so. It's hard to paint in complete silence, I'm not gonna lie, but not impossible. Okay, it's fine right now. That's good. Yeah, it's good to have mostly background music. Yeah, I know what you mean, Rom. Yeah, I don't really like to paint in complete silence. Usually what I'll do when I paint off stream is I will have either a YouTube video going or I will have a podcast going. One or the others. But yeah, I don't like to paint in just complete silence. It's kind of eerie. Alright. I'm going to try my best around this face mask here to not mess up the paint job that I've already done. Okay, I think I was successful. Bye, Ice. If I ever see gingerbread Oreos, get them. Okay. If I see them, I'll give them a try. I'm willing to try anything once. I've heard that gingerbread Oreos are good because they just kind of taste like gingerbread cookies. Alright, so that's it for our gold. Now we'll go ahead and do our silver. Dwarven iron, of course, is our bottom layer of silver. We don't have too much silver on this guy. Just on these little like scale mail folds here. So we got the chainmail there, or scale mail rather. And then we've got some scale mail here on his helmet. Alrighty. And the more I look at his helmet, the more I want to break up that the helmet. I think I want to make his horns bone horns. So we will just paint them brown, and we'll leave the tips gold, but we'll paint the horns themselves dark brown. And after I do all the shading and stuff, I'll go in and paint them in bone. And I think I might do the same thing to the haft of his staff, just to break up all this gold that's going on here. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Glad you liked the color palette there, Alec. Yeah, so this will break up the the gold a little bit, I think. There we go. So like the bottom of his staff will still be gold, but this like part where his hand is grabbing onto it will be bone colored along with the horns on his helmet. Whoop. Alrighty. So now we'll go ahead and add our shades. I need to grab some palette paper real quick. Earthquake! The French is live? Is that code? The French is live, and the crow's in the raven's nest. I don't know. It's all right, so we'll go ahead and do our shades. The first thing we're going to be adding to the... we rated a French hobby painter with Dasu. Okay, cool. I did not know that. I kind of, So we're going to use Battle Mud Wash for the brown, or for the gold, rather. And we're going to apply this in a somewhat controlled fashion. I don't want too much of this on my brush, but we want to make sure that we get it in there. I'll go ahead and shade the horns as well, just because we'll bring them back when we color the bone. But this way we'll get a little bit more of a obvious transition. Come on, camera, what are you doing? Focus. Wow, that's completely out of focus. Jeremy Hobby Painting. Okay, well maybe we'll rate him after we finish our, there we go. Maybe we'll rate him after we finish the Witch Lord here, which we're close to being done. I was hoping we would finish this on stream today. Okay. I did get it back in this robe, right? Just to double check. Thank you. Yeah, it looks really good with the gold. Welcome back, Ice. Okay. That is it for the brown shade. Now we'll do the black. This is just for the silver parts. Hang on, let me futz with the focus here just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. All right, now we're using Oblivion Blackwash on the silver parts. Not a whole lot of silver on this guy. Like we said earlier, but we're gonna shade it so we don't lose any of that detail. Alrighty. Alright, now we'll reapply a little bit of that dragon's gold to the gold that we shaded. Just using it to brighten back up the anything that lost its like luster, shall we say. This again is a step I skip on batch painted models because this is mostly just for me. I'm trying to figure out how to get my camera to focus when I want it to. That's the problem. Huh. Weird. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave autofocus on. So we brightened up that gold. Brought it back up with that. We'll do the same thing with the silver. This is kind of a darker silver anyway, but we're gonna just hit it real quick to bring back its metallicness. But we want to keep that shading, especially in like the little texture bits here. Go. And then we will, let's do the gold highlights. So we're going to add a little bit of glistening gold onto our gold just to pop the edges. And you can see like the hard edges here are really what I'm going for with this. I don't want to add too much of this. Mostly because I don't want to get rid of a lot of that like yellowness of the gold, because this is a very like very bright gold color. We just want to get some of the sharper areas here. I don't know if it's even showing up on stream, but I can see it. The back of the bat staff here. Okay. So that's it for the gold. And then we will do the silver, which we're just gonna do one more coat of silver, a different type of silver, which will be Surcoat silver. Literally right in front of my face. So I don't want too much of this on my brush. Just enough to make that silver pop a little bit. Okay, that's the silver. Alright, now we'll do the new bone on there. We're not going to go too crazy with the bone on these helmets. We'll use our dragon's fang. Keep it away from the edges of the bone. We want to keep those dark brown. And this is just the same colors that we used earlier when we were doing the skin. I should say air quote skin, because he has a skeleton. He doesn't really have any skin. Okay. Actually, let me get a little bit of this on here and get this part right there. Yep, there we go. All right, cool. All right. Then we just move up to our Skeleton Legion. And then we've just got one last color. And that's going to be this Vampire Fang. And it's just going to be at the very outside. Okay, and that's it for the bone. Now we're just going to paint the gems on his chest and head. I think we're going to do those red. So we need to take a dark color red, which is going to be Berserker Red. Our first color. Okay, I'm going to give that just a second because I just put it on there to dry. But our next color is going to be Sanguine Scarlet. So, in order to make this look like a gem, we kind of have to draw in the facets. So if the light's coming from above, that means the facets on the bottom left are not going to get any light. So, we're going to draw a little cross here, kind of our guide. And red is going to hit, light's going to hit there and a little bit here. And the same thing is going to be said for this gem up here. And then we go up one step. Do I think of all the colors beforehand? Well, somewhat. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of I'll go by feel. Like for this guy, I knew I wanted his robes to be purple. Everything else I just kind of left to chance. The rest of this is just kind of like, you know, I was like, oh, this makes sense, and this makes sense. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of that ice yellow that we have from earlier with our sanguine scarlet. And that is gonna be our upper facet. Right here. Yeah, I kind of just like, I'm like, okay, well, what looks cool? And then I just go with it. All right. I'm going to take a little bit more of this ice yellow, or mostly ice yellow, and mix it with that sanguine scarlet. Come on. To create sort of a very bright pink, almost white, to complete that little specular spot. Boop. Which makes it look like a gem. Ba-bam. All right. That is the Witch Lord done. 2 hours on the dot. Hot dog. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think? I'm glad it looks fantastic. I'm pretty proud of this one. I like the color scheme. I like the gold. I like everything. So I will base him off stream, but yeah. Pretty good looking Witch Lord. I got 2 more unique undead sorcerers to paint in the coming days. So we got 2 more that we're gonna paint like their own thing. So yeah. But all right, that's gonna do it for today's stream. And I'm gonna swap us over. Whoa, here we go. Whoa, Wayne's World, extreme close-up. I don't expect any of you to understand that reference, because I'm an old man. Eh! Alrighty. So, I'm gonna put us in just chatting. It's resizing my window. There we go. All right. So, we did the Witch Lord today, which was awesome. I had a lot of fun, of course. Thank you, Ice. You got the reference. So, let's look out for some people to raid. But let's see. Let's look at miniatures and models. I see myself. Who's in miniatures and models? Let's see. I see Modi Studios. I'm looking at the lower ones, but I'm looking for somebody who's painting something I know. And also not a VTuber. No offense to VTubers, I'm just not a... I just can't watch them. Dark and Salamander Skim 10. Okay, so Aspen of Ocean. Okay, that's an interesting one. We might go there. I love a person who wants to teach. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. We're gonna raid out here in just a second. What is Jeremy's channel, Rom? And we'll raid out to them. I know you said it earlier. Jeremy Hobby Painting. Okay. Let me look them up. Jeremy Hobby Painting. Hey, there they are. Okay. Cool. Whoop. So, I will... They looks like they're streaming in French. That's why I'm not seeing them. So, I don't speak French, unfortunately, Rom. So, I'm not gonna... I won't raid out to them. Oh, well, I will take their word for it. I'll raid out to them. Yeah, we'll do that because you recommended them, so we'll raid out to them. Oh, he's speaking English too. Okay, I just saw most of his chat was in French. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll raid out to them. Awesome. But before we go, I do want to make one quick announcement, which is it's sort of a good news, bad news situation. The good news is I got a job. Hooray! I finally found a job after 6 months of searching. It has been a long, long time for me to be unemployed. But unfortunately, what that means is that morning streams are gonna have to stop. And we will be streaming in the evenings, most likely, from here on out. But I'll still be streaming. I'm not stopping, but I can't do mornings anymore because I'll be working Monday through Friday, and Saturdays and Sundays are days for family, so I really can't stream in the mornings on those days. So unfortunately, that means that morning streams have to stop, but that doesn't mean that the streams are gonna stop. So just keep an eye out. I will post an updated schedule when I get a chance on our Discord. Or not on our Discord, on Travis's Discord. But also make sure you follow the channel so you know when I'm gonna go live or anything like that. But yeah, I'm sorry guys. I know I'm gonna lose a lot of my German and European folks, which will be a shame because I really enjoyed having you guys here. But I still want to stream. I still want to keep myself accountable for my painting and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And I'm working a regular job now, so yeah. But thanks everybody for hanging out as much as you have. That doesn't mean tomorrow I'm not streaming. I'm still streaming tomorrow, and maybe I'll stream on Wednesday too, because this will be the last week of morning streams. But hey, I got a job. It's been a tough market, man, and I've been looking for a long time. So, all right, enough chit chat. We are going to raid Jeremy Hobby Painting, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to all of this stuff, and I'm so glad that everybody who's hung out with me has hung out as long as they have, and continues to hang out with me. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. You can ~raid if you want. It's the wrong name, but you don't have to. I would just, go with the custom. I've got to change my macros. It's one of those things. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll hopefully see most of you then. Bye-bye.